Hello and welcome to today's video. So this time we're going to be taking another look through some vintage Guild paperbacks. So I've brought down everything that was in my collection to begin with before I got all these extra ones and services editions, and I'm going to amalgamate those into the main run, so I've got a comprehensive look of what Guild I've actually got. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Right then, so a bit of freehand here. These are the books that were in my Guild collection already. These ones here and those ones at the back. These were my services editions, so I had about 12 or so. There's one of the smaller size ones, but the rest are all the bigger ones. And then those ones at the end, a few of them, these are almost like miscellaneous titles. A lot of them have got picture jackets. Some of the ones at the bottom, I had about 5 or 6 that were part of my collection anyway. All the rest of them are new to me. So, yeah, it'll be quite interesting. I think these were the ones I had, those ones there. And those were all sort of new from that recent collection. So quite a bit to go through, as well as if I just turn to the left here, you can see all the other Guild books that we did last week, or the week before in actual fact, where we sorted those out. All right, and there's the New English Library. So anyway, this is what we've got ahead of us today. So I'm going to start and, well, let's see how we get on. Okay, so we've got these red ones to begin with. Now, these are the very earliest. This is number 2. So I think I've got them basically in a few little piles here. So that's number 2, which is Blenheim by Winston Churchill. And I've pulled out my other red ones here, which are those ones there, a few in slightly lower shape. And these are the ones that I got from the collection that we were looking at last week. And these are not actually in numerical order. So I'm thinking maybe it might be best to actually put these in order first of all. So that one appears to be book number 1, which is The Postman Always Rings Twice. Pretty nice way to, yeah, look at that, Guild Books number 1. It's a pretty good way to start the series. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 11, 13, 15. So they're all in order. Now, these have got red, so I'm not sure if they're part of the same series. So theoretically, they're all in order. This is, can't read the spine, this is number 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. Because I want to just get each series in order. Number 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then clean them. That's number 8, number 9, 10, 11. Looks as if my plan here of 12. It is only the books I was missing I've pulled. That was 13, 14, 16, 17. Oh, 15, 16, 17. And this is number 18, which is basically a pamphlet. Look at that, it hasn't even got a spine. Number 18. So that, to me, looks like we've got the run. So what numbers are these then? The War Against Japan. Guild Books 121 and 120. Now, that run, they're predominantly blue-covered books. That's these ones here. So we'll have a look at those ones next, I think. But we'll do these this run of the red ones first, because I think that's pretty much all of them, I think. So this is number 1 then, The Postman Always Rings Twice. Well, that's a classic crime title, isn't it? And there we are. It actually lists, look, this is a Guild 6. It's like because it's 6pence, I don't know. But a Guild 6. So they list the first 6 there, second list March 41. Then the Guild 9s and Guild 12s. Yeah, it's 6pence. That's why this was a Guild 6. Now, with the existing Guild books I've got, I can't remember. I don't think I've ever actually given them the once over before. So we'll have a look through and we'll just do them all, I think. Little by little, series by series. At least then I can keep a track of it as we go along. So that's Guild Books number 1. And obviously I can't polish these, but I'm going to give them a brush off, and any repairs, gluing and things like that, will do as we go along, really. So this is number 2, Blenheim, which was by Churchill. Quite fragile, these books, in actual fact. This edition, first published in 1941, from, Marlborough, My Life and Times, Volume 2. He did that 4-volume series on his, on Marlborough, who was, I think, one of his relatives, or ancestors, rather. So number 3, Sailor's Return. This one's got a very damaged spine, but I'm not going to care about any of the condition, because these, although they turn up, trying to get anything like a comprehensive run is nigh on impossible. So the fact that I've got, a pretty nice selection now, I'm really, really pleased. So this is number 4. Certainly a little on the dusty side. The Beast with 5 Fingers. Look how dusty that is. So, yeah. The Young at Heart, number 5. So I'm just going through initially, just seeing if there's any sort of repair work that needs doing. This one's actually in I was going to say it's in a dust wrapper. It's not. It's the cover with flaps, and the cover's actually come away. So we're going to re-glue that. So the first bit of glue in today. Now, once again, I haven't used this glue in ages, so might take a moment to get it working again. Oh, we're off. There we are. That wasn't too bad. Now I'm not going to go right up to the edge, because when we squish it in, it's going to squish along a little bit. And we don't want to overcook it. Yeah, so this isn't a dust wrapper per se. It's what they call dust wrapper flaps. So it's like pretending to be a dust wrapper. This is what Penguin books were doing at this time. They had the dust wrapper flaps. There we are. So it's all set to have its wash now. Let's get the end off this glue. There's absolutely no way I'll be able to do all the Guild books today. There's just too many here. It's going to take, going to be over a few weeks, but I'll keep mixing them in with Penguin stuff and things like that as well to keep the videos interesting each week. Still got plenty of Penguin to do. Next Penguin is going to be Penguin main series, 2,800 to 2,900. There we are, Portrait of a Village. This one's got a 15 on the front cover. The fact that these are all wartime, it really does sort of show, in a lot of cases, these really have been through the wars, Maybe not as much as the services editions that we saw last week. And I would like to at least make a start on the services editions this week. So I'm going to mix up the different series. Just keep them to one side until we've done the entire Guild run here. And I've got them all fully catalogued as well, And that one, I reckon I could put a little bit of glue in there. The Squire, number 8. I don't think it's a publisher which sells for mega money. There's probably odd titles in here. Like, well, the James N. Cam, for example, where a collector might want that particular edition. But Guild as a publisher per se are not super collectible. the Churchill one we saw at the start will be of interest to Churchill collectors, of which there are many, but I wouldn't say it was an expensive book or anything like that. I would say it was of interest to collectors, though. Unflinching, number 9. I don't think I have an accurate list of all the Guild books that were published. I've got a list of all the known services editions, but not, I believe, of all the main series. Not that I know of. But I think I've got a pretty comprehensive run now, so there won't be that many that I'm short. So that is the first 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I got the first 10 complete, so that's cool. Our Bill, number 11. This one's got a sticker on the inside. Look at that. A 25p sticker. I don't know how easy that's going to be to come off. Looks very, very out of place on an old book like this, doesn't it? Well, it's coming. Well, so's Christmas. I didn't think we'd have much in the way of a sticker removal to do on these books, to be honest. Let's see if I can tease it off now. Yeah, it's coming. It's taking a little bit of the cover, I think. Let's get a couple of these so we can rest on it. It's a fiddly one for sure. Ah, there we are. Why would you put a sticker like that on? There we are. So it has taken a little bit of the inside jacket off. Not much, thankfully, but still annoying. But that was number 11. Number 12, The Thought Reading Machine. Ah, Andre Morse. He's, of course, the guy who wrote Translated Ariel, Penguin number 1. Number 12 there. Now, look, that's interesting. Look, first published in Guild Books 1941, reprinted July 41. So that's actually a reprint. So that's interesting, isn't it? So who'd have thought that these books actually had reprints? If Hitler comes, I guess this is, what, if England got invaded, I suppose. That's where this is coming from. Reissued in the present form, March 1941. Yeah. Well, thankfully the British Isles never did get invaded. During the Second World War. A little bit of pencil on the front there. Yeah, it was, just a little bit. Okay. Attack, number 14. £20p on the inside front cover. In a very annoying place. We've seen this a few times, haven't we? Not ideal. Very, very tricky to get these out. Have to tread, or rather rub carefully. There we are. And of course, Guild books would have been subject to all the same rationing that all the other publishers were. So they couldn't exactly be overly extravagant, you know. But there's number 14. 15, The Life of the Ant. A little bit worn, this one. But that's okay. Yeah, got a bit of a spine roll on that one. 15. 16, The Greatest People in the World, by Flying Officer X, number 16. So the dust wrapper flaps have gone now. This one's also detached. cover come clean off there. It's just the glue there, you can see it just aged, you know. Well, let's take out what I can. Bits of glue falling off here. So I'll be getting the Hoover up to the studio again later today. It's actually a nice day, and I'm tempted, and I'll weigh it up afterwards. But I think for the brushing, I think might put all the brushing to one side, and I may do it outside today, just because I'd rather that than have all of it filling up the studio here, you know. And it's good to do it in a well ventilated area. Can't be and these are really, really old books, so some of these are really dusty, so I don't think it's going to hurt to do it outside today. There we are. So that was number 16. 17, How Sleep the Brave, Flying Officer X again. Turned over a page there. Got stubborn. There we are. Very tanned, that one. Interesting, it's got the added, this book is produced in complete conformity with the authorised economy standards. 1943. And then this last one is basically a stapled pamphlet. Look at that. It's not even got a spine, it's stapled, and it's a play. And I suspect that this was the last one in the Guild original numbered series. So it looks as if we got the lot. November 1943. I think that's the last one. And I think we've got all 18 of the original numbered Guild books. So that's pretty cool, that. Okay, so this blue coloured series, this numbering starts from 101. And on the back here, it's got the Guild 9. So once again, I'm guessing that these were the Guild 9 because they were 9pence. From 101, which is this one, I Lost My Girlish Laughter. They've got up to 112, but I've got them up to about 120. So we'll see how we get on. So that's 101. This is 102, and I'm filtering in the ones that I got from the collection. 103, 104, 105, 106, okay. Yeah, 107, 108, 109, and 110. Then we got 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, that's good, 117, 118, 119, 120, and 121. So, as far as I know, that's all the Guild 9s that I've got. I'm just looking at, just scanning the shelves here, as it were, and I can't see any others that are jumping at me. So I think that's all the Guild 9s. So that's pretty cool. So we'll get these upside down. No doubles, but it's my new editions as well as the ones that I had in my collection to begin with. So we'll do these very, very similar to the red. The Guild 6s, the Guild 9s, and we'll go through and we'll just check each one as we go along. 102. I mean, it is nice. See that? Look, that's a third print in that one. First published in Guild, February 41, reprinted March and May 1941. Who'd have thought it? 102. I'm honestly not too fussed about it. I'm not going to try and track down first printings. I'm just not. Life is too short. Now this one, is this in the wrapper or has it got just wrapper flaps? Let's have a look here. No, that's in a proper wrapper, that one, 103. Got a 30p inside here. Quite spine rolled, but that's okay. 104. So I wonder if once again we've pretty much got the full run of the regular releases. I'll have to check online and see if I can find out what the final numbers were. So this is another one which is in a dust wrapper. Yeah, under the wrapper, see, they're very, very nice. But obviously we'll keep the wrapper with it because that's a real rarity. 105. Oh no, look, it's got a sticker on the front. I think I'll get the little bit of writing inside out first. There we are. Now it's got a blooming 10p sticker on the front. I mean, how awful can it be teased off? Tease is the word. Don't want to rip it. So, I feel I ought to say something while I'm teasing this sticker off. It's been a busy week. It always is busy for me. I've filmed an Agatha Christie video this week and done quite a bit of editing. I've done a latest eBay sales video this week as well. These are over on my my main channel. So if you've not subscribed over there, please do. Had a little run of new people supporting me on Patreon and also through YouTube channel memberships. So I haven't opened up memberships on this channel. I do, or if you'd like to support me in my efforts, basically if you can go over to my main Jules Burt channel and you can support me there on YouTube, there we are. Or we can go to patreon.com/Jules Burt and you can support me on there. In all honesty, Patreon is the better way to do it because they only take a very small cut for doing all the admin, and most of it goes directly to the creator, which is great for me. YouTube take about a third. They're quite greedy in that regard. So yeah, but I don't mind either way, whatever is easiest for you, and you can have your name in the credits for all time. This one feels just like a pelican. Quite nice, isn't it? A dive bomber. In a wrapper, it's a little bit coming away there. It almost looks as if it's been re-glued in amateur times to me. Look at that, yeah, it's just coming off, look at that. So I think we're going to re-glue this one. So I'll get rid of the delicate wrapper for now, and we shall do a little number with it. Yes, very, very yucky. It's perhaps the best way to describe this spine. Ugh. Ugh. Get my blade on that in a minute. Yes, I should be getting the old Hoover up here. Reach for my blade and get that bit off. Nasty. Right. There we are. Hopefully that's going to be a better job than what they did, probably back in the day, probably back in the 1940s, when this book was first published. Okay. There we go. Donaldson, this one's got some water damage on the dust jacket. It's gone through, but it's protected the book, you know, not too badly actually. Got a 10p inside. Excellent. 108 waterfront. 15 down the bottom here on this one. Leaves from a Surgeon's Casebook 109. Yeah, a bit foxed this one. 1941. Guild 109. This is good, isn't it? Number 110, Stamboul Train. Graham Greene. Very cool. It's a nice early Graham Greene to have. Probably much harder to find than the Penguin of his early work. Yep, first Guild edition, 1941. The book had been out 9 years at this point, but still, a nice one to get. Great author, quite collectible. P.C. Wren, Fort in the Jungle. Author of Beau Geste, of course, the most famous one. Percival Christopher Wren. There we are. Absolutely fine, that. Death in 5 Boxes, Carter Dixon, 1112. Nice bit of crime. Sadly, no dust wrapper on this one. They may have been dropped at this point. Look at the galls. Yeah, the printing, the quality of the paper on this is decidedly dodgy. Death in 5 Boxes. A little signature there. Not sure whose signature that is, but we'll leave that as is. It's quite a rare, I reckon that's quite a sought after one, that. The Elephant Man, another reminiscence. Look at that. You see it's got a shadow on it. See that line going along there? That's like it's been on a pile of books. You can imagine it up to that point. And over the years, it's been left like that for maybe a few decades. Then the book has got dirty, and then when you've picked it up, it's revealed that sort of shadow of foxing. So I suppose this is a book on, was it John Merrick, wasn't it, The Elephant Man? I did not know anything had been written about him. The famous surgeon, okay. Interesting. 114, Her Son. So we've moved to dust wrapper flaps now as opposed to actual dust wrappers. On 5, Beanie Eye. What's a beanie eye? I don't know. Paper quality of these is really, really pulpy. Evidently they were being printed on recycled, newspaper, I would imagine. Not very nice to hold in the hand, but that's a real classic. Look at that, Moon is Down, Steinbeck. Tiny little sticker on the back there, Read More, Darley's Bookshop in Burton. Wow, that's nice. I'm certainly not going to take that off. £15p. That's a nice little book to have, isn't it? The Steinbeck. And I'm sure this is one I actually owned already, but I'm glad we're going through because evidently that's proof that we hadn't cleaned these guilds properly beforehand. So they are all getting their first sort of airing. Let's see the printing on this one. Published in Guild Books 1942. The year it was published originally. Now, here the colour changes. So it's like it's the next one, 117, but it's almost because it's a fiction, I guess. I've got some photographs in. A wartime publication here. A bit like a Penguin special. HMS Penelope. 1942. It's coming away a tiny little bit there at the top. Let's see if we can just slide a slither of glue in. Just a touch. I reckon that'll be enough. So yeah, book on HMS Penelope by Her Company. I don't know. I wonder what happened to HMS Penelope during the war. Did it survive the war? I mean, the British lost a lot of shipping. I'm going to quickly look that up. Well, I've looked it up, and it did not survive the war. HMS Penelope was a Royal Navy light cruiser that suffered a series of bomb near misses during the Malta convoys, earning it the nickname HMS Pepperpot. On February the 18th, 1944, while returning from the Anzio area, Penelope was struck by 2 torpedoes from U-410. Out of the 618 officers and men on board, 417 were lost, including the captain. However, 206 crew members survived the attack. The sinking occurred approximately 35 miles west of Naples. Well, there we go. So, sadly, this is one that didn't make it through. What a shame. Look at that. What a shame. So they lost 2/3 of their company. So it was sunk in 1944. And this book came out the year before, 1943. Blimey. Well, there you go. There you go. That was number 117. The Moon is Down. So, oh, it's a double. So we've got 2 copies of The Moon is Down. Would you believe it? I just realised this is out of place. This is 118. So I've actually got a double. This is the first double we've got. So I need to compare. That's 116 rather, not 118. So 116. This one feels ever so slightly better than this one. It's less grubby as well. So I think that is the one to keep, and this one will be a spare, but a very nice spare it is indeed too. I really like Steinbeck, and once again, quite a collectible author, so someone will definitely be interested in that one. Right, 119. Who are the Americans? Well, I think we know who they are. 3P. I suppose at this time, America was just going to join the Allies during the Second World War. There we are, 119. 120, Rehearsal for Invasion. Yeah, so these brown covered ones seem to be like non-fiction or maybe wartime related, a bit like the Penguin specials. Yeah, like Rehearsal for Invasion, an eyewitness story of the Dieppe Parade. Wow. Very, very topical of the time. And very interesting indeed, I would imagine. A nice copy of that one. So that's 120. And then 121. Look at this, the war against Japan. The present conflict in the Far East. Once again, a bit like a Penguin special. And that's number 121. And that's the last one I've got in the in this hundreds series, which is very, very interesting. Right, next I think we're going to do the 200s. Okay, so this is the 200 series, which is a Guild 12. And this one's clearly marked as fiction. Look at that file copy. In a dust wrapper. This is the first printing. 201. First published in Guild. Yeah, there we are. So, this one here then, I've got that copy there, and a third copy there, which seems, let's be honest, overkill. But I think the one which says file copy is probably going to be the one I end up keeping. So that's 201. Then 202, I cannot see. So that must be one I'm missing. 203, which is a great one by Hemingway. So that's 203. 204 is that one. 205, 206, 207, then 208 and 209 of those two. 210, 211, 212 I haven't got, but 213 is there. 214, 215 is this one. 215, 216, 217. 217, 218. 2 copies of 218. 219 is that one. That must be 220. And that must be 2 copies of 221. So I've got a few duplicates in this particular run here. But we'll get them all cleaned so we can keep the best copies, as it were. And once again, I'm going to have a few doubles to trade on down the line. So let's look at the 3 copies of The Jury, which seems a bit excessive to me. So this was the first one. And it had a 15p on the cover by the look of it. Yeah. And it is a first. There are some info bits that have been put in there about the different reprints. I'm not fussed about that. Maybe that's why I've got extra copies, but I'm sure I had this one to begin with. Not this lovely copy though. Which, as I said, does say a file copy inside, which is probably why it's just so nice condition wise. So that's definitely the one to be keeping. But let's have a look at these other ones, because I've got consequently 2 doubles. I remember many years ago, that's the first again, I remember many years ago I got what's this? Yeah, plain rear cover. It's a variation. Oh, so I might keep this one. I bought a big collection of Pan books, and there was 5 books by other publishers, and there was quite a collection of Guild books in there. That was the sort of the basis of my own collection of them, Yeah, so that's a little variant because it's got a plain rear cover. But has that one got a plain rear cover underneath? No. There we are. So it's a variation on a theme. And I do collect books with variations. I've got some Penguins with plain rear covers now. It's just yet another thing to collect, I suppose. But I will keep those too. And this one here, then, definitely got books on the back. This is a 3rd reprint. Look at this. So Gerald Bullitt, whoever. Oh, that's the author. I was reading this at the time she went. That got to page 59 using the patterned papers of Book Mask. She liked it very much. How weird. C. Malcolm, December 1941. Well, what can you say? I think that particular one, because that's going to be my my spare copy, that I think we're just going to leave that exactly as is, because, well, it's something else, that, isn't it? It's a little bit of history. What I will do, because the main run I'm going to brush in a minute, I'll just do this odd one now, because I'm going to put the spares to one side here. Well, that was interesting. Right, Fiesta. This is a nice one to have. I do enjoy Ernest Hemingway. And this book in particular is quite good. Fiesta is basically Hemingway. He was incredibly well travelled, and Hemingway studied the bullfighters of Spain. And he was fascinated yet also disgusted by them at the same time, shall we say, and that's basically what that book is about. 204. Yep, another one in dust wrapper. Through Italian Africa. Okay. Theatre, Somerset Maugham. These early ones are definitely more robust than later, when wartime kicks in, and wartime restrictions, I should say. But I wouldn't say they were the best looking books. They're not like, Penguins, which I do believe are very, very nice. This period of Penguin, the books were really flying, they were beautiful. But it's all part of the early paperback story within the UK, so it's valid. And I wouldn't want to not have these. It's been a long time coming to build up this sort of collection. It really has been probably 20 years. The Village Doctor. And how often do you come across a Guild book nowadays? It's pretty unusual, isn't it? So let's put something in there. Not sure what that strip of paper is. Maybe they ripped the page or something, but we're going to leave it there as a curiosity. The Truants. Now this is in a very tatty wrapper. Indeed. So I'm going to take it off, because sometimes when a wrapper is that bad, the book is better off without it. And that's the case with this. So I'm going to keep it, obviously. I've got a little, it's like a shoebox where I put the wrappers in flat on. So I'll pop it in there, all my vintage wrappers. But this one, that would have been more harm. It would just fall to bits if I was to keep it on there. It's just better off without. Adventures in Arabia, 209. Bit of paper there. Let's have a look at that in a moment. No, nothing on it. Nothing dramatic or earth-shattering, sadly. Raggle Taggle, 210. Now, of course, almost all these books, I think, would have come out as services editions, which is what we sorted out last week. So we will see some of these titles again as editions for the forces. And it would be nice to think we'd get a little bit of time to at least start some of those today, but I've got other stuff that I think needs sorting out, which we can do at the end. I always knew that these Guild books were going to be a bit of a task, which is why I left them to the end, really. Although we have still got more Collins White Circle, and it's the box of Westerns I've got left. Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful run of Collins Western to come through. If you like your Westerns, you got a treat coming up. I've sort of left them to last on. Well, that is all I've got left on the Collins now, is all the Westerns. So very clearly, I'm missing number 212. So I'm missing 202. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm missing 202 and 212. So number 2. That's interesting. Yeah, number 2. So this is a Guild 12. Number 202 is not listed there in the back either. But number 212 is. It says it's a thatched roof. Beverly Nichols, which we've not got. So that's interesting. So maybe 202 never got published. That would possibly explain why it's missing. Oh, look, and this is another file copy. The Miraculous Birth of Language. Excellent. Because we've got some file copies in with the services editions, haven't we? Love on the Dole, 214. Still manages to pop this one in a wrapper. And now things take a decided turn for the worse, because look at the thinness of it. There must have been some sort of gap, and then this one here especially, it seems to be printed under much poorer wartime conditions by the look of it. Yeah, 215, much more like fragile. 216, this has got some sort of lamination on it. That's unusual. A different sort of cover printing on that one. It's not a matte finish. But all sorts of things would happen during the war. It says first published 1945, that's right towards the end. 215, 216, this is 217. And this one's back to having a dust wrapper. So what is going on? Is this post-war as well? No. First published in this series, 1941. So that one there, 216, seems to be some sort of anomaly. 217, 218. Of course, it is possible that the number went out. They went back and reused the number later on, or realised it hadn't been printed. 1941 again. This is 217, 218. This is 218 again. So this is a double. Okay, I think this copy here is superior to that one. So this is the one I'm going to get shot of. So much dust just off one book. Hopefully the weather's held and I can nip outside and do the other ones. 219, Japan's Islands of Mystery, a Willard Price. It's going to be pretty scarce, I would think. Yeah, I'd say that's probably quite a rarity. 220, I'm hoping 220, the Right Honourable Gentleman. Yeah, 220 it says. Yeah, illustrated by Osbert Lancaster. It's pretty nice. Or rather, an illustration by Osbert Lancaster. Yeah, number 220. I'm going to leave the number inside because the bottom of the spine has been cut. And also, it's just coming away there, like that. I'm not going to force it anymore, but I am going to put some glue in there, if I can. If it comes out for me. And it's not. Here we are. The end sort of solidified. There we are, that should stop it getting any worse. Okay. And this one we've got a double of as well. On the Art of Writing, Sir Arthur Quiller Couch. What a name. Sir Arthur Quiller Couch, don't you know? Ah, renumbered 22 in view of duplication of use of the number 221. Ah, renumbered 22. Renumbered number 22 in view of duplication of the use of number 221. This is 221. 219, 220, 221. So I don't understand what's going on. So Guild Book Edition 1946, 221. And this is Guild Book Edition 1946. So in actual fact, I think they realised that that one's just numbered 22, and that one's clearly 221. There's no one that's come away there, but they're both marked as first. So I think it's just that particular one. It's just an error which was quickly sort of sorted out. This is just the sort of thing that happened during the war. Well, look, there we go. I think time we've given these a brush, we are at our 1 hour of cleaning for today, which I think is quite enough once a week. So I'm going to have a look and see if we can actually give these a brush outside. So I thought before we do that, we could have a quick run through and make sure that what I've got for next week is fairly well organized. So these are specials which I'm just popping back into order. So that was special number 4. That's 10, 24, 50, 54, 92, 97, 100, 101, 111, 157, one in the original format. These are the hard ones to get. 209, 217, 52, so that's out of place. And number 9, also out of place, but a good one. So number 9 was Graham Greene, and this I think was number 27, wasn't it? I can't blooming find it now. 52, so that actually goes in there. So next time we do some guild books, we will be starting on the specials, services editions rather, and that's those ones there to be integrated into the ones that we've already done. But now I've got 2 piles of guild books and I don't really know what's what with them. So these ones here, I think we're just going to have to sort of have a little look through them. I'm not really sure. As you see, they're all sort of different colours and stuff. Let's just see if we can pick out what series they are. Guild Books 224. Well, we've done up to 221 over there. Those are the books with the green. So let's just see how we get on. 224. $225, okay. So this is actually a continuation of that other series. If so, we want to do these today. 226, 227, okay. This is making a bit more sense now. 227, 228, 229. These are all ones that I have beforehand then. 230, because they're in order, you see. So this one we'd already done in a previous guild, hadn't we? $233. So they reprinted it. I look, the numbers on the back there. Look, 234, 235, 236, 239, 243. Oh wow. 245, 251, 252, then 400, which is a separate series again, I guess. 401, 402, 407, 4015, 415 there. Then we've got another couple of hundred in the 200s there. 231 goes in there, and 242 goes in there. Well, that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Okay, so I've got others from that sort of era. So if I slide them over there a minute, let's see if these actually make sense, if these are reprints with jackets. See, look, 237. That's what these are. So some of these are in illustrated jackets and they're re-releases. So 237 would go in there. 011, okay, a Guild original. This might be a separate series. First published 1954, so this is much, much later. So, I think that's separate somehow. Some Guild titles. Number 4. This is also much later, I think. What a tricky publisher. So this is C number 4. 1945. Okay, well, these like weird miscellany ones, we'll see if we can pull a series together. That's clearly not 475. So we had some 400s up here. So that can clearly go in there. Peerless Buck, 448. That can go in there. And Forrester, 421. Well, that can go in there. And then I've got a big old pile of other ones here. So these are ones that also came in that collection. So 246. Well, this is making a bit more sense, I have to say. At least they're blimmin' numbered. And that's what I didn't have. 407. That one's a double. So the Romance of Words is a double. But that's okay. Look at this. A Modern Sinbad. Can we get the number? 406. That was easy enough. Look at that. It's a cover and a half, isn't it? No number on the back again. Yeah, we'll do these next time we do some Guild books. 404. 401, 402, that's 406, that's 404. Scott of the Antarctic, 251. At least we got these sorted, and that's also a double. Dylan Thomas, portrait of the artist as a young dog. $250. The Skipper's Wooing, 249. Okay. Ricey Man Steps, 248. Huh. These are in virtual order. Green Banks, hammered. Absolutely hammered, this one. 247. I literally can't believe all these. I got just a small pile left. 403. For Old Bob. Heavenly Trousers, 402. Can't be many of these around with dust wrappers, you know. I wouldn't have thought. See, that's a double, but not with a wrapper. 245. Call the next witness. That's also a double, but obviously that one in a wrapper. I'm going to need to start a second pile here. Memories and vagaries. All stand up. 235. Journey into the interior. 401. 400, 401. Stephen's Wig. 400. Wow. 253. And 253, same book, just with and without a dust wrapper. So I'm assuming these books were released with dust wrappers, 252. And that's the rare part about them. If they're still in their wrappers, they've got to be pretty scarce, I would think, you know. $416. But I am glad we've done this because it does bring them all together in effect. $414. 411. 410, and the last one, 49. Well, yes, I was not expecting that, but I'm glad we've sort of licked those, as it were, and got those sorted, because I was quite surprised. I didn't know where these things had come from, so the fact that we've got them now in decent order is excellent news. And there's a couple of very late Guild books. Brilliant. Okay, right, let's get these those ones that we've actually cleaned brushed off now. Right, just a little experiment to actually brush these outside. When you're inside, it's so much more enclosed. It's not a great place to be brushing off 80-year-old dust, you know. I feel I can do a more thorough job out here. Yeah, it would appear the cats were initially interested now. They've disappeared, or at least one of them has. So, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As far as I'm concerned, it's been very productive. Lots of books sorted. Which is always good. Oh, there's Rita. At least this way I'm not infecting my lungs. Most people go outside to like polish their shoes, don't they? I go outside to brush my books. And there we are. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, including this outside bit. If you have, do please give the video a thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage book cleaning action. And I'll see you again next week with another video. Bye.